Okay, we're going to try a little quick culling session with Palomino. This is going to be really rough and ready, no smooth teleprompt. So let's see how it goes. So this is the Palomino welcome screen. You'll see over here, I have some previously opened locations. But let me go through the whole scenario. You'll see over here, I have my X2D mounted. So I'm going to cull straight off the card. I'm just going to select the card, which is still in the camera. Asks for subfolders. You say yes, and voila, we have subfolders. So I went out shooting some insects that were buzzing around the bush at the back of our house, or the bushes. You'll see here on the right-hand side, there's the background work going on. It's only 502 images, so it's not going to take terribly long. And it won't find any faces, predictably. So we can go back here. And you'll see down here at the bottom, on the left-hand side, let me just click through them so that it takes the mouse focus. You'll see that it's detected a burst of 3 images here. Now, this being a Hasselblad, 3 images is quite a burst. But yeah, so it's picked, there were 3, and it's actually picked this one as, you'll see a little crown over here, which also shows up over here in the top left-hand corner. That means it has selected this as the most in focus picture. Now, that can mean a lot of things, but generally, it's pretty accurate, I found. So one of the new features is if you press Command F, you'll see the image is overlaid with a green mask showing exactly which areas are in focus. You can Command F toggles it on and off, and the sensitivity is configurable in the settings. So yeah, it's selected that one. Let's zoom in by double clicking. I mean, not too bad if I say so myself. I can quickly demonstrate the new compare mode. So we've selected the crowned image, which Palomino has decided is the most in focus one. I hit the C key, it brings up the compare dialog, and I can now flick between the other images and my reference image down here. Apologies, this keeps pumping itself out of full screen mode. It's already rough and ready. So I can also zoom in and they follow each other. I can pan around, it follows. The reference image is pretty much as good as the other two in terms of focus and position. So in the end, I'm probably going to pick all 3 of those just to push to Lightroom later. One feature up here, there's a little pill, they call it, that says linked. So you can unlink it and then the images react independently of each other. If you link it again, boom, they sync up the moment you move it again. So hit the C key, compare goes off. You'll see down here, I'm going to select that one. I'm going to hit the P for pick. I hit the P for pick and the P for pick because I actually like all 3 of those and I want to look at them afterwards. And just for purposes of demonstration, let's just give that 3 stars, give that 3 stars, give that 3 stars. So that's just a quick demo of some stuff over there. Let's scrub through the other images to show you the actual speed that you get out of this thing, which is what I was after. So probably not an image I'm going to keep because of the background. I have my railings in the background, but it's still a pretty butterfly. My choice of backgrounds wasn't great. But let me just scroll through. Look at this. Look how fast I am scrolling through 100 megapixel images. Let me just hold that button down. I'm actually holding the arrow key down now. There's no way any other image editor can help you cull this fast and scroll through images. So going through these, I don't want any of these. I can set them as rejected if I want to. You'll see I just hit the X key. I'm just going to scroll through. Typically, I'll go for the picks. You see, now this one is interesting because this is a good example of having picked multiple crowns. You'll see that's a 10 image burst, and it has actually picked multiple images that it thinks are in focus. Now, obviously, the AI is smart enough to know that those two images there, while they may be sharply in focus, probably aren't the best images in terms of framing. So if we go back full screen here, I'm probably going to go for one of these. So let me just hit the P on that. It's not terrible. Let's see how it turns out. I think the focus is all on the wings there. I love the bokeh here, but yeah, that butterfly isn't helping. Maybe that one will work for a crop. Let me pick that. So I'm using my arrow keys to scroll through here, scroll back and forth. It's not terrible, but it's like I want to see the whole butterfly. I've got his eye in focus there. It's not a terrible one. Let me grab that, even though it hasn't been crowned. Crowned one. Yeah, I'll pick that as well, just in case. I don't want to make this demo too long, but just wanted to demonstrate the speed of this thing. For Hasselblad images, this is just nuts. Like, you just absolutely do not get this from any other app. I'm going to have to come back and cull these after I've shot the demo, because there's some fairly decent shots in here, I think. But as you can see, it's 502 shots. If you go over here, you'll see it does the count. It shows you how many select, how many picks you've made. 8 picks, 3 rejects, 3 images have been starred. Oh, yeah, I got onto some bees here. Slightly overexposed. I'll have to see what I can do about those highlights. Slightly out of focus on that one. Oh, the other thing is that if you zoom in and then use the arrow keys to scroll, it actually maintains the zoom. Double click is 100% zoom, and you can also then just zoom in and out with a trackpad pinch. So yeah, shoot through these. I'm going to spend a few minutes after I've done this demo looking through these hundreds of bee shots. There's got to be one that will really work. But let me go back and then quickly show that you can do a filter here. Currently over here it's set to all. If I hit the picked selector there, you'll see it down here. It brings up just the images I've picked. Or I can pull up the rejected images or the 491 unrated images. You can also group by star rating. And then it tells you there were 99 bursts. So you can actually go and filter just by bursts. So just quickly onto the export as a demo. Hit the export button. It brings up your export flow here. I have a preset which I use for my images I'm sending to Phocus. Here you can decide what you're exporting. I'm going to go for my picked images. It's remembered this destination folder over here from my last export, but it's part of the Phocus preset. Let me just click on that just to make it pop up. I'm leaving the file names as original, and you can also insert tokens here for the export if you want to add that to your file names. You'll see over here ISO threshold. This is for exporting high ISO images over here to a separate folder. And I do this specifically so that I don't have to go and do any filtering later in Phocus for the high-ISO images, I can just go to this folder and just tell denoise to go and do its thing. Here's a toggle to go in to verify the exported files. It does a checksum on the originals, and once it's copied the files to your destination folder, it will go through and actually verify that the files are bit for bit the same files. You can also select over here to move unrated photos to trash after export. This will not work on cards that have come out of a camera, or if you attach the camera directly. I specifically decided to not touch originals or sources of originals. For Hasselblad specifically, you can select to write focus sidecars. This will capture the star ratings. It does not capture the color ratings if you've done any color ratings, and that's a focus bug, but you can have it write focus sidecars here. Let me just exit out of the export dialog real quick and show you in the settings. You can set several things here. Typically, I have this toggled off, so XMP sidecars do not work for Phocus. They work for just about every other editor, so if you're taking these photos to Lightroom or Capture One, you can leave the sidecars on. It will export the sidecars. You can have both if you really want them, but if I'm doing just a Phocus export, there's no point in exporting XMP sidecars because Phocus doesn't understand them. So back to the export flow real quick. There's my settings. I'll just hit the export. You'll see it's running, it does the export, it does the verify, and it drops you back here where you can either pop open Finder to show you where they are, and otherwise click done.